going on, brothers? I just want to talk to you brothers about prostitution. And obviously the government won't legalize it because he knows that the marriage rate will go down, the reproduction rate will go down, and it will force women to get in line. It will force women to be more submissive. It will force women to act accordingly. It will force women to play their role. And we'd be able to differentiate, you see, between women who are like just slutting around, being promiscuous, and the women who are not. You see, I was watching some Red Box. No, it was some Netflix episode about like prostituting and prostitutes as well. And I've seen that like in some countries overseas, you got some women, you know how we pray to the Most High over here for just a job and this and that. And I was seeing on that episode that you got some women who, because I think in some countries over there, prostitution is legal. You know, those type of service workers, it's legal for them to do stuff like that. But those women, instead of praying to the Most High for like jobs and things that we pray for over here, those workers, they pray to the Most High, to their God for a lot of money during that day that they're actually working. You see? That's insane. That's crazy, yeah. But yeah, so it's like if prostitution was to become legal, because it's just a double standard here. Because in America, it's like, how are you going to have Vegas being legal as far as prostitution, just one state, but then all the other 50, 51, 52 states, it's illegal? That's insane. And most men are not trying to travel all the way to Vegas just to pay for no vag. Like no, just to pay for vag. Most men, we're just not trying to do that. You see? So you know, they got other routes you can go about doing it. Like they got it. Obviously, they have workers out there on the street in LA. It's legal there, obviously. In Vegas, it's legal there. In certain towns there in Vegas, you can actually go there and pay and this and that. I've been to Vegas before, and I thought it would be like how we would see it on TV. You know, like when you see it on TV, and like on a TV episode, you see women standing out there on the street, you know, wearing skimpy clothing, and they're actually out there like soliciting and looking at you seductively and this and that, like, because that's what you see on TV. So I thought that when I get to Vegas, I thought that's what I would see, but no, no, I didn't see that. When I got to Vegas, it was some old ugly guys, fugly dudes, and they were flicking these cards. And you get a card from a guy, and then you call the female, you call the chick. I never got around to fooling around with it because I actually went with the female. Shouldn't have done that, you know. But and not saying that even if I was by myself or if I was with some boys, I would have done it. But yeah, but I have done it before. I have had tricked off before, $50 to $100. Yeah, I've done it like twice with like 2 white chicks or whatever on Backpage. Yeah, so I have done it before, you know. But yeah, I think Backpage has went away. So it's like some of these workers, I think they have to find other outlets. But I did it like I was even in a relationship with some chick. It was like 6 or 7 years ago when I did it, or whatever. But yeah, I paid like $50 for some white chick. Went in, you know, just gave her the money and did it, got it done, and walked out. I was got nervous, but yeah, I think it was some black dude standing on the outside of the hotel. I think he was a pimp, you know. But yeah, you know, because I went on Backpage, I just wanted to see if it was real, so I went and checked it out. I wanted to see if it was real. But yeah, but to be honest, in my opinion, like for me, Like, and I wouldn't say that just being not tricking is better than the guy who tricks, because a guy who would spend money on the vag, $50 to $100 and get her done, get out of the way, to a certain degree, it's kind of equivalent to, well, it's kind of worse for a guy to actually go and get married. Because if you think about a guy who get married, like my uncle had just got married, and I'm pretty sure he spent at least $5,000 on his wedding, and he bought her like a $2,000-$3,000 wedding ring. He went on a trip and this and that. This dude's spending thousands and thousands of dollars, you see, versus that simp guy. Because shout out to Black Ram, and he touched on this as well. So I couldn't say a guy who actually tricks is better than just a regular guy who, like me, that would actually go take a chick out on a date to a Mexican restaurant or whatever and spend $30 on her and my meal, you see. So I mean, hey, or actually takes a chick to a movie and spend $25-$30 for her and my ticket, you see. So versus, and then it's a possibility if I take a chick, most likely if I take a chick out to the movies and spend $30 on the movie versus getting with a female worker and giving her $50 for some head, or just banging her from the back or something, to a certain degree, that John, he would come out on top because he got what he wanted and he's out the door. Like, he paid her to leave, you see, or he left. He spent $50, $60-$70 and he left, versus just regular guys like me and you who would take a female out on a date, spend $20 for a movie, and then get her home. It's a possibility me and you, we may not even get the draws. You see, to a certain degree. I was listening to my man Alpha Male Strategies, and he takes a guy on at least 3 to 4 dates before he actually gives up on the vag. And I'm the same way. Like, that's me as well. Like, I'll do the same thing. After the 3rd or the 4th time, if the female hasn't given me the vagina, I'm done. Like, I'm leaving. There's no more talking and none of that. I'm just not interested in her anymore, unless we go on a date and she actually pays for me and her. And yeah, that has happened a lot of times for me as well, you see. But I just went on like 4 dates with this one chick. Well, we didn't go on 4 dates. We went on 2 dates, and then she came over my house, then I went over her house, and she still didn't get it up. So that was 4. I mean not get it up, but she still didn't put out. So that was the 4th time for me seeing her. And just last week, I just stopped talking. I just started ignoring her messages. Well, she didn't ever text me back. I just deleted her number. That's what I did. I didn't block her. I just deleted her number. Like, we're not talking anymore. I'm not interested anymore. She's not trying to come up off the vag, you see. So I'm out the door. But yeah, if they was to legalize prostitution, then women would have to play their roles. See, and I'm pretty sure a lot of guys have made videos about this. So I'm just, yeah, well, just my perspective. A lot of women, they would be, in America, they would be more feminine. They wouldn't have, some women, they wouldn't have bad attitudes, because now you got to act up to the part. Now you have to actually be a woman, versus having tattoos, versus twerking, versus acting masculine, being an independent woman. You don't need no man. Like, you would actually really have to come off as a feminine, girly type of woman. You see, you would have to be in shape, not like that fat so Lizzo. See, a woman like that, she can do whatever she wants to do. She can go around sleeping from guy to guy, and it almost like it confuses us guys, because these women, like most of these women out here, they're strumpets anyway. Like 90 to 95% of women, they're strumpets in America anyway. They just going around sleeping with all type of dudes, and they think that they are equal to men, or that if a man can do it, that they can do it too. And they don't know, these women, they don't know about microchimerism. You see, a woman sleeping around is worse than a man sleeping around any day, because a man can actually imprint on a woman's brain with his semen, with his sperm, with his cum. You see, all these different spirits, and this specific woman, a woman sleeps around, by the age of 25, she sleeps around with 20 dudes. It would be hard for her to be satisfied. You know, I mean, we've been down this road before. A woman like that, most of these American women, you can't satisfy them because they slept with all these different guys, you see? And, yeah, and
watch out, vehicle stopped on shoulder ahead.
And most likely, she would just divorce her husband anyway, because she's been around. Like, she's been around a lot. She's been around a block. A woman like that, you can't satisfy. And she has all those different spirits in her. So, it'll be tough for her to co-bond with her husband after she slept with all these different guys. See, that's not the same scenario with men. Like, you know, men can love harder. A man can get with a woman, a cute woman that has slept with 15 to 20 women, that has slept with 15 to 20 men, 30 men, and actually be there with her, love her, and be with her forever through whatever, you see? But a woman can't do that. Women, they can't just, no, like a woman can't do that, because she's not going to be able to be satisfied. If a woman has slept with no men or just one man, more likely she'd be able to be in a long-term relationship, and she could be satisfied because by default she has slept with no men. Or let's say if her husband died, you know, and that's biblical, and she only had one guy, one penis, she could actually get with a guy and actually pair bond with him and actually pair bond with that guy and be with him forever, you see? Versus a woman that has slept with 15, 20, 25 different men. And especially women who's had children by other men. Well, we don't even get with women who has kids by a different man. Like, no, well, like you can pump and dump them, but we have to, as men, we have to have standards. We have to teach them a lesson. Because if us as men get with single mothers, then a woman is just going to give us anything she wants to give us. She's going to say, well, I can come to the relationship with kids. I can come to the relationship and I can be fat. See, as men, we have to have standards. That's why you must reject women who are fat, and you must reject single mothers. I mean, you could bang them, have them around as concubines, but no alpha male type man will want to invest their money into another man's seed. So that's a no-go. But yeah, if they would legalize prostitution, right? I'd say one of the other reasons as to why they wouldn't legalize prostitution is because, like, if they legalize prostitution, I feel to a certain degree that isn't lucrative for this system. Think about it. If they legalize prostitution, then like child support to a certain degree, like that would be sort of eradicated, because like some guys only want to get with women to have sex, to just have steady sex. And you got a lot of men, and living in this society, if you want to do that, then you have to wife up a woman. You have to actually marry her and have kids by her in order for you to get steady sex, in order for you to copulate with that particular girl. But if prostitution is legalized, then you wouldn't have to do that. See, there are some rich men out, well, not rich, but men, let's say white men who doesn't look up the part, is fat, got bumps all over their face, but they make good money, but they just can't get a chick. And if they was to legalize prostitution, then these guys could actually just blow $50 and sleep with a woman, you know, once a week or twice every month or something like that. You see, just to be satisfied versus having to mandatorily jump in a relationship and actually be with a woman. It's just so you can get steady sex, you see? Because at the end of the day, you're going to end up paying anyway. Whether you paying for just a ring or some shoes or something for a female, $50 or something, or if you're a John and you tricking off $50-$60 just to get laid and send her on her way, you gonna pay anyway. But some guys who rather pay to lay, pay them $50 or $100 to a certain degree, we can say guys like that, they're coming out on top because they don't have to deal with the stress of being in a relationship with a woman. They don't have to deal with her attitude. They don't have to deal with kids, getting married and this and that. You see? I mean, you have to strap up, obviously. You'd be clean. But, yeah, if they were to legalize prostitution, a lot of women, they would actually get their act together. Then we'd be able to know the sluts from the women who are actually trying to, like, who actually have morals and who actually trying to live a decent life. A woman who most of these American women, it's almost like you really can't tell the difference, because for them to dress promiscuously and sleep around, like, it's just being normalized. Like, the system is socializing women to divorce their husbands and go ride the car carousel and to sleep around with different men. So it's like in America, they're conditioning women to be promiscuous, you see? And that's just all bad. For women, for American women, if they were to legalize prostitution in America, then, like, a lot of women out here, they can just actually go to, because you got some women that's making men pay for play underground. Well, not underground, but like on the low, like, as to where it's like a lot of people, they really don't know about it, because I mean, and child support is another form of just legalized prostitution. You see, you watch porn nowadays and you see a lot of these women, they have these webcam videos, and that's just another form of legalized prostitution as well, because you got women selling pictures. I was on a dating app the other day, Bumble, and you got some women, their headlines will say, "Cash app me some money for a picture of my feet or my butt," or just something like that. And that's just another form of legalized prostitution right there, you see? And if they legalize prostitution, then we'd be able to, in a sense, know the difference. Well, red pill guys, we already know the difference. I already know a lot of these women, and because you got a lot of these women that are being like total sluts. They would get with a man. The average lifespan of a relationship or a marriage is 2 to 5 years. They would get with a man and be with him for what? About 2 to 5 years, divorce him. I hear a lot of women out here that I go on dates with. They say they get married 2 times, or they've been with several boyfriends, had 2, 3 kids by him, and then they leave him. 80% of the time, the woman initiates the divorce, or she leaves most of the time anyway. Most of the time I talk to women out here, they're always leaving. I think I can count on like one hand as to where I would talk to a woman and she would say her boyfriend or husband left her. I think I talked like 2 or 3 women out of like 50 women I done talked to. A lot of women, you see? So women, they exit the relationship anyway, first off, you see? But, yeah, and it's like they legalize prostitution. A lot of dudes out here, they wouldn't have to enter relationships and just get married, just all willy-nilly and having kids like that all willy-nilly. They wouldn't do stuff like that. But see, due to them not legalizing prostitution, it's lucrative for this country to not legalize prostitution, because then guys would get in relationships that they didn't want to get in relationships, or we would make mistakes and we would get a female pregnant. We would get a chick pregnant that we wouldn't want to get pregnant and stuff like that. And then we would have mistake babies, and we would let's see. Yeah, a lot of us guys, we would just make mistakes, get with chicks and have babies and this and that. But yeah, if prostitution was legal, then a lot of guys wouldn't have to worry about that. You see, a lot of guys wouldn't have to worry about that at all, because then you can just get a chick, pay $50, get some head, and go back to work. You see, and that's what they do. When I was watching the video on Netflix, that's what they do in certain countries overseas. I seen these women, like they was in these buildings and stuff. I kind of heard about the red light district over there in Germany as well, but I was watching a video about, I think it was China or something, I'm not sure. But these women, they would be like in these glass dorms or whatever. And these Chinese guys, these Asian guys, like they would go on their break from their job and they would go out, they would go to these places. And these be men that would be married and this and that, because I actually watched the movie. And they would see these women behind these glass stores, and they would stand back and they could choose the woman that they want to actually be with. That's crazy. Well, that they would want to pay for play with. You see, that's insane. That's crazy, but I mean, yeah, man. I mean, yeah, but and for me, like, I'm not no bad looking guy, but I just hear, like, and I think they still have certain platforms that you can go on online, since they eradicated a back page, that you can go online and you can actually get up with chicks and pay to play with them. But for me, I just don't have that type of time. I'm not trying to spend that type of money. I just don't have that type of time. I'm just not interested in something like that. And I'm not saying that I'm better than the guy who does that. I'm not saying that. Shout out to Moto Power. Shout out to Moto Power. That's my boy right there, man. Shout out to Moto Power. Up in this bit. Yeah, but shout out to him. Yeah, man, it's crazy out here, but I think they should legalize it though. I really, really think they should legalize it, so a lot of guys could actually see what wife material looks like, because then that'll force women to be more feminine and to be more girly and to actually want and try to be in a real, true, authentic relationship. Because nowadays it's almost like you can't tell. Like it's sluts and promiscuous women everywhere. You got women wearing yoga pants all the time, everywhere. And to be honest, that's scantily clad. That's dressing promiscuous. A woman who has her cleavage slightly showing, that's dressing promiscuous. A woman who has on jeans that's super duper form fitting, that's dressing promiscuous. A woman who's wearing crazy heavy makeup like that, that's dressing promiscuous. That's, like, to a certain degree, that's a form of witchcraft. You see? Because she's trying to lure men in. A woman should be walking around with burqas, dressed modestly, loose clothing, not wearing caked on makeup and, trying to draw men in like that. No, that's like a form of witchcraft. That's just not good. But yeah, I don't think they would ever do it, because they need these family courts, they need divorce, and they need marriage. Like, America makes so much money from businesses like this, from this modern day marriage and relationship in America. This system makes so much money. And if they were to legalize prostitution, a lot of dudes would stop getting married. A lot of dudes would stop having crash test dummy kids. They would just go get them a hooker or a street chick, pay her $50, $100, banger, they're going about their business. You see? If that was an option, and there wouldn't be a lot of these crash test dummy kids out here, these delinquent kids out here as well. But it's a business for America. Some of these dudes out here and these women, they're having children out of wedlock, then they're being raised by single mothers, and they come up and they become criminals. And even the daughters become just single mothers or criminals, and that's just lucrative for the system. See, when me and you as a black man go to jail because we don't have our dad to teach us discipline, it's lucrative for the system. We selling drugs, we getting in fights, toting guns, because there's no discipline. We've been raised by single mothers. Yeah, it's just lucrative for the system. They can make a lot of money. It's advantageous for this American society. You see? So yeah, I just wanted to touch on that. There's a couple other things I wanted to say, but I kind of can't remember. I'm sorry for the last video too, guys. I know I had that music on, so it didn't play well. But yeah, I'm gonna get on out of here, man. Just tell me what you guys think.